Alright. Forgive all the noises. I live in a city, and it's windy. This is the next project. It's a Huffy Storm, probably from the 90s, I'm guessing. Early 2000s. 15 speed mountain bike. Quote unquote mountain bike. This thing has many thousands of miles on it. It is totally clapped out. And I'm gonna fix it up and make it an e-bike. So this is for someone who needs a good commuter bike and bought a cheap e-bike and it's immediately fallen apart. So we're gonna do a better job with this one. As shipped, 15-speed drivetrain, grip shifts. Not totally sure, nor do I really care what these shifters are. I guess it's a Shimano. At least the back one is. Don't know about the front one. Lifetime frame warranty from Huffy. We're probably going to figure out a way to avoid that. These are steel rims. I was pretty surprised to see that. Obviously steel frame, steel fork. 26-inch tires, one-piece crank, absolutely dreadful brakes. So the initial plan, going to see about fitment for fenders and stuff, and then we'll put in probably a drum brake and a 3-speed hub in the back, get rid of all the shift gear, it's all shot, and then put in a front motor. And yeah, so I'm going to tear all this down. Maybe we'll do a little time lapse of it, and then I'll do some measurements. We'll make sure that the parts that I'm going to put on will fit in the frame and the fork without bending stuff. And yeah, as soon as I get the frame torn down, hopefully I can get it to the powder coaters tomorrow, have them strip it and put a fresh coat on it, and go from there. Alright, time to take a stock of what we ended up with here. So these wheels are not going to be reused. You may or may not be able to see, but like this inner sprocket has hardly any teeth on it. The next one up is not faring much better. These rims are just trashed, and you can see they are actually steel because they're all rusty. Single wall steel, very chintzy. Though I saw in here the hub there is actually a made in USA Nakano. So we got that. Got a whole mess of cables and stuff. The front's in a little better shape, but like it's still got rust in a few places. So I'm also not convinced this is like, I don't want to use that. Chain was okay. Shift gear less so. Not much left of that. It's the front derailleur. Wasn't even connected. Grip shifts, we're not going to use those, though they look fine. This thing, let's see how sharp those are. This thing has been around the block once or twice. Sprockets, not super terrible, but we're not going to use multiple sprockets, we're just going to use the one. There were a couple of spacers installed there, so I think we'll have some means to move the chain line around. You saw in the video, this was an absolute goddamn bear to get this apart. I'm gonna have to take a good close look at those threads and make sure it's not stripped on this side, because it sure as hell was stripped on the right pedal here. Just like nothing left of those threads. Handlebars came right out. She'd kind of like to reuse the handlebars. I'm not really liking all the dents in that, but we will see. Brakes, chintzy plastic. As a matter of fact, this one was missing its hinge altogether, so it just fell apart. 3 inches of disgusting rubber grips. Absolutely atrocious stamped steel brakes from China. And this is probably the crunchiest bottom bracket that I've ever turned. I've also got a couple of little guides for cables on the underside of the bottom bracket. They look fine. This is the welded on kickstand thing. A little different how the Schwinns work. I don't think I super care for it. And this was also so lacking in grease and was so rusted that the actual one of the welds is cracked on the frame for it. So that's not great. Steer, I've never seen this before either. The steer is so bad. You might be able to see it. It's actually shot peened. I think that's the term for it. But the ball bearings have like punched their way into this race. Seat post stuff, pretty gross. This chain I was able to defeat with a pair of wire cutters, as expected. Not great. This fork is okay, though there's like so much gap. Like the tire rides like right here, the outer rim of the tire. So I'm gonna have to come up with something to move this down so I can mount a decent brake on it. Kind of kind of wanged this seat tube also, but that'll be alright. And then on the frame, not actually in terrible shape. It's rusty in spots. Stickers are still good, though I'm going to have to pull those off to get them to the powder coater. Back here, the way Huffy did these hangers is kind of not my style. But the rest of it seems okay. The cups came right out of the bottom bracket and out of the steerer, so that's good. And you might be able to see right there. That's where it's cracked. So you might see if it's possible to weld that or solder it or something. But yeah, I think it's good enough to go with. This is kind of the smallest part of the project as it happens, so like if I gotta find another frame for it, it's not going to be that big of a deal. Though it will stop being the bike that it started out as. But yeah, so I just got to grab a couple diameters and distances so I can figure out what parts are appropriate to get for the hubs and the bearings. Then I think we'll be set.